Hello everybody and welcome to a new luck poker session. Today we are playing 4 tables at NL100. On coin poker, as usual, we open with queen 9 off on table 1. This flop hits. I think I'm just gonna c-bet here with no info on my opponent. Of course it's not a must. Would be better if we had a diamond, of course, but I would say on average we should c-bet a bit, with a high frequency in this field. And let's see. Of course, if he raises, we are just folding. I could make it a bit bigger, but that's it. Queen 3 off, we fold. Ace 5 off also is a fold, but on table 4, we are going to raise definitely Ace 10 suited. If one of our opponents 3-bets, we might call, we might 4-bet. Even folding maybe is a bit too tight in this situation, but let's see what they do. They all fold, so, well, that was quick. We go back now on the action in table 3, where we have 4-7 suited. I would say it would be a bit of a loose open. I'm just gonna fold. If we know the big blind is a pretty bad player, I would say that's fine to do that. But I think he's a regular. I've seen him many times and he's playing multiple tables at this stake, so it's very likely he's just a regular. Other players I've frequently seen, we have Chessmaster. I'm not using a HUD on coin poker, it's not allowed, so I will not have any specific info on my opponents, unluckily. Or luckily, I mean, if they also don't use it, that's quite something I think is cool. Of course, HUDs are good for regulars, but I would say that not having HUD is something which attracts recreational players, which of course is good for the field. Now we go on table 2 with 6-8 suited, and we have UTG opening. As we mentioned, he's a regular. I would mostly call, sometimes 3-bet this hand. In this specific case, I'm going to 3-bet if this guy doesn't. I would mix. I mean, I would say calling it there is absolutely fine as well. But this time, we go for the 3-bet. And let's see what he does. And I would do it only if I think my opponent is a regular. If I think he's a recreational, I would think he would just call too much, and with a hand like this, I'm not super happy. Now this flop hits, we are definitely going to c-bet. If he raises, shoving is sometimes an option, but let's see what he does. He folds, which is sweet as well. We go on table 3 with 5-6 suited, and we are going to... I mean, it's a hand which also plays okay as a call to 3-bet. It doesn't have too many reverse implied odds, so it's okay to call sometimes with a hand like this, much better than others. We have a gut shot, and you know, we can play in multiple ways. I would like to start with a check in this multi-way pot, and if the bottom bets, I don't mind raising sometimes, and I think that's what I'm gonna do right now. Let's see. Thinking about it. Luckily, he checks. The Queen of Hearts is a decent card, definitely. We could bet, we could check again. I'm going to start betting right now. I don't mind either ways. It's really... When you have a combo draw like this, there is rarely a big mistake in anything you do. And this guy calls. Now, we have pretty terrible blockers, to be honest. We block both the flush draw and the gut shot, and the straight draw spin. So I would say we could also fold, expecting to call a lot here. So I'm just gonna give up on this specific river. We'd have bluffed on other rivers. I would say on this, we get too many calls. This time he had also flush draw, which, I mean, it's nice that we didn't hit it. It's bad because we didn't bluff him, but at the same time, you know, when you have the flush draw, it's less likely they have one. So I would say that's totally fine to give up sometimes when the blockers are pretty bad, as in that case. We go table 2 with king queen, and we do open on the cutoff. We might call a normal 3-bet. This guy I think is a recreational. Let me write it down. Okay. This hand could both call 3-bet or 4-bet. I would probably call this time if they 3-bet. He just calls, and with a nice flop, I would just start by betting. We could have different bet sizing strategies here on a board like this. I would say GTO probably will also going to see some overbets. In the pool, I'm just gonna do some small bet here. Of course, to call a raise, we are not bet folding here. He just goes 9 on the turn. Betting again is fine. Oh, I would say sometimes we may check back. I like again both lines. We block Queen Jack, which is one of the hands we like to block here. I think this time I'm going to bet, given also how unlikely it is he's going to find some bluffs here. But again, checking back, I would say it's also fine. I really don't mind there. If I had King Jack, I would probably check back a bit more, but at the same time, I would say it's fine. Fold here, a6 off, nothing much to do there with that. And let's see what we get on table 1 now from this small blind. King 4 off, not very nice. I would say I would open if I know for sure that big blind is folding way too much, but of course we don't have this info here, and I'm just gonna fold. Yeah, you know, there are some... I spoke a bit before about... We're gonna open this, about poker rooms without a HUD. There is some controversial feedbacks on them. Some regulars like them, some regulars don't. In a way, it is true. You know, not having a HUD, if you can use a HUD, it takes away some of your edge compared to somebody who doesn't use it, which we may agree is some kind of unfair advantage, to be honest. But at the same time, you know, I think if you're a good player, you're going to be successful even if you don't have a HUD. So well, I don't mind pools without a HUD. We 3-bet on table 3 with ace-jack suited, the small blind, and we are ready to call a 4-bet eventually. I think shoving would be a bit too loose with this hand, especially when it plays so well as a call to 4-bet. This flop it's not very nice. I think he's calling range to 3-bets here is going to hit this board quite nicely. Unluckily, we also have the diamond, which is the weaker suite right now here, and I'm just gonna check back, hoping to improve on the turn somehow. We'll improve on the turn, also nicely. If he bets, we're obviously just going to call. I don't think raising here without the info would be nice. So I'm just gonna call here and see on the river what to do. I hope for a blank river, obviously. Which is, and I don't think we can fold if he bets here. Of course, if he shoves no info, it's probably better to just fold, but on a standard bet like this, we just call. I don't think we can do anything else here, to be honest. He had 6s, which of course was some kind of a cooler here. Bad turn for us. And I don't think we could do much there. I would say folding would be way too neat. We also beat some value hands there, apart from the bluffs. Queen 9 off on table 1. I would have opened this time, maybe. It's again a borderline hand. I would say the pool probably doesn't defend enough the big blind, so if I have no info on my opponent, I would assume he would not defend enough, and I would open a bit looser. Of course, assumptions can be wrong, but in general, it works quite fine. Let's go on table 4. If this guy opens, especially since I think he's a recreational, I think I'm gonna call. I think it's recreational because it just limped on table 3, but maybe he was bringing in. Not sure. Okay, we'll see. It's possibly recreational. Not sure completely still. However, I mean, if he opens, this hand is not even too insane to defend blind versus blind. It's quite okay, no matter what. And yeah, this guy is just focusing on the other hand he has. So my assumption is he's not used to multi-table. So I would say it's probably recreational, but let's see. Folds here, and we go back to the action on 4 tables. A7 and A7, of course the suited one is much nicer, and we are probably going to play it. It's a hand with which I would usually call rather than 3-bet. On the big blind, I mean. Of course, if I was in other positions, I would not call it, but mainly 3-bet or fold. This guy does 3-bet, and so I'm just gonna fold this time. We go on table 4, where we open A7 off. Blind versus blind, quite standard. And when we get the blinds, we go on table 3 with king 8 off. Also, it would be a standard open if the cutoff folds. And we do open. Of course, folding to any action. But let's go on table 4, where we have pocket queens, and we 3-bet, of course, in position. If he 4-bets, we are just going to shove, no info, cutoff versus button. We have some action on other tables as well, but let's stay here on the queens, which may be interesting. If we think it's a recreational, I like to bet twice with a small size and then check back river. I think it's what works best versus a recreational here. We bet he calls, that's a terrible turn. But again, I think if we bet small enough, it will be profitable versus a recreational. He will call it flush draws and maybe a jack if we bet small enough. I would never play this hand this way versus a regular, of course. It's like a block bet. It's weird to make a block bet in position, but we can do it, you know, if we think he's gonna check on the river. And he folds, which is okay still. Table 3, same opponent. We bet, he calls. We have a decent blocker. The turn is not that nice, to be honest. I think a recreational will fold less on this turn. I would say on any other turn, I would probably keep firing because I would also make him fold a 7 frequently. Here, I think it will be okay with a hand like this, but probably close. So I'm gonna check back this time, especially because he just folded me on table 4, so he may, if he really is a recreational, he may fold less now that he folded me already on the other table. So I think it's just better to give up. And also with this queen, we have some showdown value, you know. So I would say sometimes it works. Yes, nice this time, which is fine. He didn't lose much there. Folded deuce 5 offsuit, obviously, and 5-8 off also on table 2 is going to be a fold from the button. Three 10 suited. We let it go. Succeed. Okay. 3-8 suited. Fold, as well as we did jack 7 suited here. I remember this guy with the Twitch icon. I wasn't unsure the last session if he was a regular or not, because, you know, having the Twitch icon, I suppose he's streaming on Twitch. Maybe wrong. And usually who's streaming on Twitch is a regular, more often than not. Not saying he's a professional necessarily, but he's a regular more often than not. But I remember seeing him doing weird stuff. Maybe it was a misclick, who knows, was a possibility. Or maybe he's just a recreational streaming on Twitch, which can happen. King and suited, we open on table 2, nothing happens. We have now ace king off on table 1. And I'm going to 3-bet versus UTG. I would say calling is not something that would be insanely wrong, especially versus UTG in a 7-max table. But I would say, as a rule of thumb, you should just 3-bet unless you have any clear info on your opponent. He folds, which is okay. Then let's go on table 2, where we 3-bet with pocket 7s. We cannot call a 4-bet if he 4-bets. Pocket 7s doesn't play that well in that situation, so If he does 4-bet, I would just fold here with no other info. He shoves. So he made today I can't speak. Apparently, he made us an easy choice. He gave us an easy choice. We go on table 4 and we open with pocket kings. Of course, we 4-bet if somebody wants to 3-bet us. We flop a very nice flop. I'm going to see bet again. In theory, I think sometimes I should bet pretty big here, but in the pool, I prefer to bet small anyway, especially with these blockers in this case. We are bet calling, obviously. Bet raising, I don't think would be a nice option because I don't think he has pocket tens that much. We block the kings, and it would be a bit difficult to get value if you go down that road. Okay, we fold here. And on table 2 we have queen 6 suited. We are probably going to open. That'd be nice, guys, to put the graph at the end of the session. I would like to do it. I did it when I was playing other rooms. Just the problem is that on Coin Poker you cannot use a HUD and you cannot use a tracking software in real time. So I don't have the graph results until I import the hands. So it's impossible for me to show you the graph unless I make a couple of videos and put them together, which will require a bit too much time. I'm gonna check back here on table 2. You know, it's a bit exploitative, of course, because you should see bet a lot on this board. But we have a medium value hand, very difficult to get value on a board like this, and he's a recreational, so we don't care about what we do GTO here. And I'm gonna start betting on for team value on the turn. I don't think he has much, honestly. But let's see, maybe after he saw us checking on the flop, he will call a small bet on the turn wider, who knows. If he raises, it will suck if he raises, you know, to be honest. I don't think I can fold, but it will really suck. I mean, if he shoves, I'm folding, of course, but it will suck. That's for sure. I'm gonna value bet on the river. I think if he really is a recreational, he will call if he has a flush, even if I bet quite big. He may call also with any pair because you see the flush there, and you may think I'm overplaying a flush for some reason. So if you think he's a recreational, I don't mind betting big on a river like this. Once again is to fold unless he makes a very small raise. He may of course have a king, and people do not bluff big here. This sizing I think I have to call. I'm not happy, but I think I have to call this sizing. He may have a queen and never play that. It's cheap to call this one, but again, we're not printing money at all. We call, and he has the king, of course. Good sizing on his side. I would have folded if he made it bigger than that. Table 2, we are going to open now this one. We are calling to 3-bets. We may 4-bet sometimes if we think our opponents are 3-betting a bit too much, and fold into 4-bet, of course. Small make also, I think, yeah, he probably is a recreational player. Nice flop. I'm gonna bet about half the pot. And let's see, of course we cannot bet fold here. We've also seen him before playing him a bit tricky, the hand he had, which was super strong, of course, but Isro played until the river, so he may, if he raises on the flop now, he may be a bit weaker than he would normally be, and he do raise, so we are going to see that probably. We call, of course, and we see the 8 on the turn, pretty much of a blank card. We don't have any reason to presume he has an 8 in his hand. He could, of course, you could have 8-9 suited, spade, but on average he's not gonna have an 8 that much. And we're gonna call here. The few draws which were there are still here. We call the 4, get there, not a very nice river, the 4. Let's see what he does. His sizing also is gonna tell us a lot. 5-6 got there, nothing else, of course. If he shoves, I think I'm gonna fold anyway. And he shoves. Yeah, I think I have to fold here. No info. I mean, if he is a good player, he could have 4-5, but again, we don't think he's a good player, so we just fold. Quite suspicious, to be honest, but yeah. On table 3, we are just going to see it here with King Jack versus the same guy. Again, we are calling a raise if he makes it here. We have a decent amount of equity and backdoor equity to make this call. Fold this time. Okay. Couple of folds here and there. Yeah, I think I made a good fold there with King 7. You know, it's easy to be frustrated and call because, you know, we were quite confident we had the best hand up to a certain point, but you know, I think they're not bluffing enough that way, and I think even if they bluff sometimes, of course they will be bluffing, absolutely, but even if they do bluff sometimes, I don't think they bluff enough for us to make that call profitable. We open with Ace Jack on table 4. Let's see what they do. Maybe table 2 there will be an interesting hand, and I think we're going there. So on table 2, I defend the big blind versus the bottom. This nice flop hits. We could do many things here. I'm gonna call this time, but also check raising was definitely an option. We check on the turn, and if he bets, I think I'm just gonna call again. Unluckily, he checks back the turn. I'm just gonna polarize myself. About pot bet, I'm gonna bet. I'm not going to overbet without any history. I mean, if he knows I'm aggressive and bluffing a lot, I would probably overbet sometimes. With no info, I'd say betting big, like pot is fine. We go on table 4, and we 3-bet also this hand sometimes. Big blind versus cutoff. This time it works. That's sweet. Ace-3 suited. This guy is probably recreational, given he is not using the auto rebuy option. I suggest you always mark people with auto rebuy as recreationals. And here we're opening Ace-3 suited, also a hand which we could 4-bet blind versus blind as a bluff. It's totally fine, or call sometimes. This time I'm going to 4-bet. I don't have any strong preference on what you do. We 4-bet here. I hope I took a lot of time because I thought I did it and I was going around the table, but yeah, not ideal to take a lot of time. Whatever. He shoves, we fold of course. We go on table 3 and we have 7-8 suited. That we 3-bet in position versus this guy. So there is a bug. So this guy may be not a recreational because also I'm not able to charge here for some reason. So it may be a bug of this table. So let me take out this note, which may be wrong. Ah, no, now I charge, so no bug there. Okay. So let me put it back. Okay. We go on table 4, where we check back the flop. This turn is, I would say, we're definitely calling if he bets. Betting on the flop was fine as well, absolutely. But he checks. Once he checks, I would just check here. I don't see many reasons to place a bet. He bets. I don't see him bluffing that much in this board on this run out this way. I think he could fold. Raising, I mean, it's really, what are we raising there? Very few things, so I would just let it go. I don't want to pay all his team value bets there, so I'm just gonna fold there. Ace deuce we fold. Five eight off on table 2. It's normally a fold if they open. If there's, I mean, if button opens, of course, but if the small blind open, it's normally a fold. Could be a very loose 3-bet if you think our opponent is not great in defending them, but normally just a fold. And that, since I think he's a regular, I'm just gonna fold here. But also the note because I didn't put it already. Table 2, I think we can open this one at the ante-table from there. Kind of a bottom range. Big blind calls. We said he's probably a recreational player. We are going to attack this board. Bet the flop. He calls. We're gonna attack this turn as well, and probably the river. We bet big here. If he raises, it's gonna suck. But the river is nice, so we are just going to bet. And I'm gonna bet big again, you know. We attacked him already. I think he's not gonna fold a decent club anyway, so I'm gonna bet big like this. Quickly fold, so he probably didn't have one. Table 3, calling or 3-betting is fine. It's curious because the smaller they open, the more you're willing to call instead of 3-bet, because you win less money when you 3-bet and they fold. But at the same time, you have a better price for a call. That's a nice flop, and versus a regular, I would definitely check a resist sometimes. Let's see. Gonna take a bit of time, even before it took a lot of time before doing a bluff. And I want to take the same timing pattern here. See what he does. He calls, which is sweet. The queen hits, which is terrible. It's one of the worst which could hit. Still can be ahead, of course, because I mean, we could have any pair, of course. I'm gonna check here, and if he checks back, I'm going to value bet the river. If he bets here, I'm probably gonna check call here and check fold the river. It's a very terrible line, but I think it's the best I have right now. He checks back, which is nice, and I'm just going to pot on the river, bet big. I will place an overbet here, a small overbet, hoping he calls with any pair from 9s through aces. If he shoves here, he always has a queen, and then don't bluff here. Okay. Ace 5 off is gonna be an open in case they do, but let's go on table 4, where we have ace king, and we do definitely open from the cutoff. We are ready to 4-bet. Again, this guy 3-bets, and again, I'm going to use the same slow time pattern. Actually, oh, I was wrong. The other guy. I was using the slow time with the other guy, but okay, it's fine to take a lot of time before 4-betting for value. There is now the tendency to think that if you take a lot of 4-bet, you're bluffing. So I would say that you should do that for value. Absolutely. He calls, the king hits, of course, a very nice flop, and I'm gonna bet about 1/4 of the pot here in a 4-bet pot, which I think I would do at a very high frequency, meaning every single time. So he calls, that's a nice turn. I think I'm gonna check this time. It's close actually. Also betting is fine. I don't mind either ways. Let me bet here this time. And I'm gonna shove the river. I'm gonna have a lot of perceived bluffs here. I could bluff with 2 clubs, I could bluff with ace queen, stuff like this, so I'm definitely gonna shove here. And expect to get a lot of calls. But he folds. So no. No. We go on table 3, where we 3-bet. Got to answer one message. Okay, sorry for that. I had to answer. Table 3, we have now Ace Jack off, and we are going to 3-bet this guy. No info. I also don't recall him from the tables, which is a good news because it's more likely he's a recreational, but who knows. We go on table 2 with Ace King, and we do open. Big blind. Let's hope he plays, since it looks like it could be a recreational. Maybe wrong, of course. Okay, we do open on table 3 with ace-9 off. We are going to eyes on table 1 with ace-10. Unluckily, this guy does it before us, so he cannot anymore. Even this could be a recreational since he didn't wait for the big blind. Most regulars do. And also, I didn't see him frequently. He's not in the other tables. Yeah, it's already recreational. Yeah, no, right, guys, don't be afraid to be wrong. I mean, for example, here, I think he's a recreational. There is probably 60 to 70% chance he is one, and it's enough, you know. I mark him as a recreational. I may be wrong, absolutely, but more often than not, I will not be wrong, and also, if I am, I will have time to reconsider it. So don't be shy in putting labels. You're always in time to change them, and usually it's a good idea because maybe next time I will not see him doing that stuff, and I will take time to realize he is a recreational. We go on table 2 with king 10 off. UTG makes it 2x. It's close, I would say. I think in an ante-table 2x we should call definitely. But this guy 3-bets, so we just let it go. Okay. Table 1, king, queen suited. We are going to 3-bet and usually call a 4-bet. Nice, regular opens, the recreational cold calls. This guy 3-bets. He's threatening a lot, but I don't think I can do much because if he's a recreational, it's not a nice spot to place a cold 4-bet here. Just gonna fold. We go on table 4 where we 3-bet. Blind versus a regular. And he folds, which is sweet. We go now on table 2 with king queen off. Same regular, blind versus blind, but we are opposite. But however, the guy TG+1 opens, and we are going to 3-bet him. Fold into 4-bets. He just calls, and we flop a king. We flop a lot of kings versus these guys, versus this guy, and we see bet here about this sizing. I think is fine about like this, in a spot like that. Raising on his side would be, I mean, he shouldn't have pocket fours and pocket fives in theory. In practice, who knows? I'm gonna check this turn. It's a pretty bad turn for us to continue firing. And I'm gonna check call, obviously. And I think I have to check call also most blank rivers. But let's see what happens. Let's don't go too ahead. As mentioned, I'm going to call. Of course, it's a bad turn, but he's gonna have a lot of floats on the flop, and he's gonna bluff those floats on this turn. And having the king of diamonds, I don't think I can fold this river. I think if he was bluffing on the turn, he would bluff every single time on this river, and so I don't think I can fold this one. If you think is an irregular and potentially an aggressive one. So we call, and good luck to us. He has 7-8, so unluckily he made the straight draw. Of course, they can. But the good thing, I mean, if he didn't have that, he would probably bluff the turn out anyway, so that's why I don't mind this bluff catch and this showdown. We know he can have the nut or a very good hand anytime. Unluckily, sometimes we have to pay them off. And I think that we should. Because, again, I mean, the situation was perfect for him to bluff. We have decent blockers. And I think that was fine. Table 3. I don't mind sometimes 3-betting EP here, but got a bit deep stack. Maybe not with a hand like this. 10-3 off. We fold on table 4. 6-5 off. Also, we're going to fold. Oh, we played already quite a bit. I'm gonna play about 5 more minutes, and then I put myself in sit out. There are some interesting hands, especially the King Queen I think was very interesting as a spot. We may also, in one of the next videos, I may try to analyze it in GTO Wizard, which I think is maybe interesting because, I mean, of course, I'm never 100% sure on spots like that, so it would be interesting even for me to rewatch it and to see if it actually made sense what I said. See if I can also write down the hand. Or keep it saved here somewhere. Okay, we have it. Perfect. Five 3 off, we are not going to defend that for sure. He limped on the button, so now we know for sure he's a recreational. So we went from 70% chances to 100% chances, and this guy is raising a lot. The guy on my right could be probably an aggro recreational. For this off, unluckily not gonna be able to play that. Now we go on table 4, which looks like it's going to be closed soon, and we open with ace-4 suited. I'm going to call if it rebets. I don't recall why Martin is a recreational. Maybe wrong, absolutely, of course. I have no idea who this guy is. Fold this time. I've seen a regular going away from this table, so yeah, I sit out. Should we play some heads up? Why not? I mean, I don't think it's profitable to play heads up with a regular, but maybe, guys, you may like it anyway. Who knows? So why not? If he's willing to, let's make some spew. No, he's not willing to. I'm not gonna open another table, to be honest. I'm closing in 2 minutes, so we're gonna finish the session with the last 3. Table 1, we have Jack-4 suited, and let's see if we can play this one. I would also ISO versus a limp from the button. But this guy opens, so we just let him be. Queen 4 off, we just fold. We have a new recreational on table 2. He sat with 40 blinds. There are 3 signs here. First, he didn't sit full stack, he sat with 40 blinds. And second tip is that, not tip, second, what is the English word for that? Not tip. The second signal, I don't know, second sign that he might be a recreational is that he's not using the outer buy, as we said, so we have now 2 already. Third sign, also quite relevant, he's playing from mobile. Most regulars do not play mobile. So we have now 3 reasons to believe he's a recreational, and so we just mark it down like this. And if you guys, some of you is watching, and for example, if you cryptoed are watching, don't be offended. There is nothing wrong in being a recreational actor. Actually, I'd say that if you have money to play these tables as a recreational, it means you're quite successful in other areas of your life, and you should be proud of you. So, there is nothing wrong in being a recreational. It's simply somebody who didn't put his life into poker, which there is nothing wrong with that. We fold use 3 off street on table 1. Ace 3 off we fold. Gonna sit out next repline as I mentioned. Slowly closing these sessions, which unluckily got a bit ruined by that king queen hand. But again, I'm still satisfied about the hand. I don't mind the way I played, but I think it will be material for a new video. So at least, even if we lost a stack, I think we want some content. Fold the 6-10 off was the last hand on table 2, and now we are only on table 1 with the last 2 hands. Yeah, this guy is playing crazy. Okay. Nothing. So that was it. I hope you enjoyed this session, guys. Please let me know in the comments if you did, or if you did not, tell me what I could do better, and see you next time. Bye!